Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Chloe Feng. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. HSBC shells out its biggest dividend in 4 years, following a surge in fourth quarter profit. A 3-year-old boy falls off a building, highlighting the dangers facing minors. And the government clarifies its talent scheme, following a controversy over a mainland scientist. Banking giant HSBC has reported a sharp rise in profit for the final 3 months of last year. The bank is paying its biggest dividend in 4 years and pledged quarterly payments this year. Rising global interest rates gave HSBC an earnings boost. Its pre-tax profit in the fourth quarter of last year was $5.2 billion, a 92% surge from $2.7 billion in the same quarter in 2021, and above market estimates. Despite the sterling performance between October and December, full-year profit for 2022 came in at $17.5 billion, down 7% from $18.9 billion in the previous year. The London-based lender, which generates most of its revenue in Asia, will pay a final dividend of 23 US cents per share, bringing its dividend payment for the full year to 32 US cents per share, the biggest in 4 years. The bank also intends to pay a special dividend of 21 US cents per share from the potential sale of its Canada business. HSBC said its annual expected credit losses rose to $3.6 billion due to the increased economic uncertainty and the real estate market downturn in China. Chief Executive Noel Coyne, however, noted support from China's property policies.
The provision of more liquidity by the Chinese banks and the Chinese government, the relaxation of some of the regulatory constraints that were on the sector, plus some of that extra liquidity has been made available for the offshore debt as well. The sentiment has improved in Q1 in January relative to where we were in Q4. I think there's still a lot of work to do on commercial real estate in China.
HSBC will resume quarterly dividend payments this year and consider new share buybacks in the first quarter. The bank said because of higher global interest rates, it expects net interest income of at least $36 billion this year. But it kept its target of at least a 12% return on tangible equity this year. The failure to raise the target dismayed investors, and the lender lost 2% on the Hong Kong stock market. The government has decided to scrap the daily RAT requirement for secondary school students. From next Wednesday, they will not have to conduct the test before leaving home, but the test remains mandatory for primary and special school pupils, as well as kindergartens, until March the 15th. The Education Bureau says it will keep monitoring the situation. Police have arrested the mother of a 3-year-old boy who is in serious condition after falling from a first-floor flat. It was the second case in 3 days of a child falling from height. Macy Mock reports.
An ambulance rushed a 3-year-old boy to Queen Mary Hospital in Pok Fu Lam after he fell from his building in Sheung Wan this morning. Police said he was conscious after sustaining a facial injury, but in the afternoon, it was confirmed that he was in serious condition. The boy fell through a first-floor window and landed on Connaught Road West. Police believed he had been playing in the corridor. His 25-year-old mother was arrested on suspicion of child abuse or negligence. She was released on bail and has to report to police next month. The incident occurred just 2 days after a 3-year-old girl fell to her death from a high-rise building in Kwun Tong. Between 2006 and 2018, over a quarter of child deaths caused by falling from heights were in the 3 to 5 age group. The next most vulnerable were toddlers aged 1 and 2, according to a Social Welfare Department report. Half of the cases in 2016 and 2017 happened in flats without window grills, or the protection panels were not secure. Maisie Mock, HKIBC.
A man has been accused of offering $500 to an examiner to pass him after he failed his driving test. Bao Yuheng was told that he had failed immediately after hitting a pavement during the test in Chunwan 3 months ago. The examiner informed the Transport Department after he was offered the money in a lycée packet. Ba, aged 26, was granted bail after being charged with offering an advantage to a public servant. He will appear in court for a plea hearing on Thursday. Labor Minister Chris Sohn says starting tomorrow, applicants for the Top Talent Pass scheme will have to disclose any criminal record. This follows a controversy over the approval given to a Chinese scientist who was once jailed for violating medical ethics. Joanne Ho reports.
Chinese biophysicist He Jiankui, who claimed in 2018 that he had created the world's first genetically edited babies, has confirmed that he has been accepted under Hong Kong's Top Talent Pass scheme. The scientist said he will consider coming to work in Hong Kong as one of the 7,700 successful applicants if he gets a suitable offer from a university or research organization. But he currently has no plans to stay in Hong Kong for the long term. He, who once taught biology at the Southern University of Science and Technology in Shenzhen, was sentenced to 3 years in jail on the mainland for illegal medical practices. He was released in April last year. Meeting Hong Kong reporters in Beijing this afternoon, the scientist did not say whether he'll continue research on genome editing of human embryos in the SAR. He said he would focus on investigating gene therapy for rare inherited diseases. He vowed to abide by medical ethics and international scientific consensus when conducting research. The scheme, launched in December to recruit top international talent, is Chief Executive John Lee's answer to counter the brain drain in the SAR. Joanna Ho, HKIBC.
Overseas, another strong earthquake has rocked Turkey and Syria, killing at least 3 people just a fortnight after a more powerful tremor left more than 47,000 dead. The new quake, with a magnitude of 6.4, toppled buildings, trapping residents under the rubble. More than 200 people were injured. The tremor was centered near the southern Turkish town of Antakya and was felt in neighboring Syria as well as in Egypt and Lebanon. People in Turkey rushed out to the streets, fearing another nightmare when their buildings began swaying. The United Nations Security Council has denounced a plan by Israel's right-wing government to expand settlements on occupied Palestinian territory.
We strongly oppose Israel's announcement that it will advance thousands of settlement units, and we strongly oppose Israel's announcement that it began a process to retroactively legalize 9 outposts in the West Bank that were previously illegal under Israeli law. These unilateral measures exacerbate tensions.
It was the first time in 6 years that the United States has allowed the full Council to criticize its ally, Israel. The statement was a watered-down version, but forced Israel not to go ahead for now. The Palestinians were furious when the Israeli government announced the expansion scheme on land they want for their own state.
The Council has thus confirmed once again its long-standing positions in no uncertain terms. This message has to be pressed on, translated into a time-bound action plan, a concerted effort by the UN and its member states to set us on a different path, one that leads to freedom, justice, and peace.
Panda fans in Japan have waved goodbye to Xiangxiang as she was taken to an airport for her flight to China. A lorry took the giant panda from Ueno Zoo to Tokyo's Narita Airport. 5-year-old Xiangxiang is especially popular in Japan because she was born in the country. Sunday was her last day on public view, and 2,600 people who won a lottery were able to see her. China loans pandas to zoos around the world, but retains ownership of the animals and their offspring. Hang Seng Bank reported a 27% drop in profit to $10.2 billion for last year, much lower than market expectations. The HSBC subsidiary estimated that annual credit losses surged by 170% year-on-year to $7.6 billion for 2022, mainly due to its exposure to mainland property. The Hong Kong-based bank is paying a final dividend of $2 per share, taking its full-year dividend to $4.10, a 20% decline from 2021. Hang Seng Bank expects business to improve this year, but has no plans for a special dividend to mark its 90th anniversary. HSBC's encouraging results failed to give the local stock market a lift, with the Hang Seng Index falling 1.7%. JD.com gave up 8.5% as it launched a massive campaign to take on its rivals. Food delivery platform Meituan, which is planning to extend its operations to Hong Kong, lost 4.1%. Heavyweight Alibaba ended the day down 4.2%, while Tencent declined 4%. Mainland developers gained ground as more Chinese cities cut mortgage rates for first-time homebuyers to give the ailing property market a shot in the arm. And now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed down 357 points. Top 10 equity stocks, Tencent down $15.20, Alibaba down $4.20, Meituan down $6, and JD.com down $17.70. HSBC down $1.15 and Kuaishou down $3.80. Great Wall Motor up 56 cents. Forex trading against Hong Kong dollar, the euro is at 8.35, British pound at 9.49, Australian dollar at 5.39. Moving on to the UK market, the London FTSE is currently down 18 points. The Hong Kong Palace Museum's first special exhibition starts tomorrow. Over 200 Asian gold artifacts from its permanent collection will be on display, including some that will be making their public debut. Most of the items were donated by two collectors of Chinese art. The oldest piece dates back to the 18th century BC. Visitors will learn about the role that gold played in ancient China. Art enthusiasts should reserve a spot as soon as possible, as the exhibition ends in September. On to the weather now. It will be cool tomorrow morning before becoming fine and dry. Temperatures will range between 15 and 21 degrees. Warmer on Friday with the mercury rising to 25 degrees. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. And that's our main news for Tuesday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Chloe Feng. Good night.